Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a little bit of maintenance. So the Africa Twin needs some new boots or shoes, however you call them. So I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but this is what we're going for. We're going for the EBC, and they are the FA174HH. After a bit of research, this is what we found to be the most popular. We'll just get straight into the video. Right then, to be able to do this job yourself, you're only going to need a couple of tools, and that is it. First tool you're going to need is going to be a hex key, and it's 6mm hex key. You need a 12mm socket, and you need an 8mm socket. Extension bar optional, and a ratchet. Now when it comes to pushing the piston back in, there's one of two options that I found. I'm not sure if this is going to work because this is a car piston tool which works together to push the piston back in. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be too big for the caliper on here, but what I have always found is a pair of mall grips always seem to push them back in. Just crack it off, just nice and easy, just so it's hand tight. That's that one done. And we shall go for this one. Same again, just crack it off, just so it's hand tight. What I will say quickly is, if you haven't got a centre stand like myself, paddock stand is a lifesaver, but again, not necessary. So I'm pretty sure you can do this whilst the bike is still on the ground, because obviously you don't need to take the wheel off. And then the last one, just crack it off, yeah, like that there. Right, pull that all the way out, put that somewhere safe. Oh, it's a bit tight, this one. There we go, and she's out. A little bit of wiggling. You do need to take into consideration that this line here, so just unclip it, that is your ABS line. Do not touch, you don't need to touch that. But as you can then see, and then the brake pads are there, nice and easy. So we'll just rest that back down, and then we shall take this one out. A bit fiddly, but that is the brake pads out. So let's get the new pads. So yeah, as you can see, new pad to old pad, they were shot. Let's get this piston pushed back in. Might need to just move the camera for this one. Stay. Just moving it level by level, just to ease it back in, nice and gently, nice and gently, just like that. Yeah, nice and easy. And as you can see now, the piston is back flush again. The camera stays there. Alright, what I like to do now is get yourself a nice clean microfiber cloth and a bit of brake cleaner, and then just spray it. In all the working parts, just give it a little wipe down. Nothing, you know, just to make sure it's all nice and clean and there's no debris in there. There's a little O-ring just on the end there, just make sure that's still intact. Feed that back through. Well, feed it through that one, feed it through that one, and then screw it back into place. So now that obviously we've pushed the piston back, we need to separate the pads and put the pads back on over the top, and it will, just with a little bit of manoeuvring around, it will naturally should do, he says. There we go. Just a little bit of fiddling around and she goes back in. ABS line clipped back on. Okay. Now this front screw is the think about it now. Yeah, this front screw is the one that is a bit of a pain to get in. It just slightly protrudes up. So with a little bit of wiggling, obviously making sure you're not cross threading it. And she will go. Just make sure that on tight. And then make sure that one's on tight. Alright, now because obviously we push that piston back, new pads are in, pistons in, but what we need to now make sure is that the wheel's going round and it's stopping. Right guys, brakes changed on the bike. A little bit fiddly at times, but it's nothing that you can't do yourselves. Right, hope you found this one a little bit useful, and yeah, keep you on the channel. Hopefully there'll be a little bit more of how to do videos. See you in a bit. So guys, just at the very end of this video, we had a slight little issue with the brakes. For some reason there was no pressure going through to the rear wheel. So I phoned Gaz down at Fat Bloke Cycles, who told me to bring the bike down to him where he can have a quick look. So I did, and upon riding the bike to the garage, back brake wasn't working at all, and I didn't know why. But upon looking, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, upon looking at the unit, got your ABS line here, which hasn't been clipped back in. Has now. The ABS line runs all the way up to your reservoir there, which then goes down into the master cylinder there, which then comes up and onto a closed circuit on the ABS. Obviously this is a high point, so what we figured was there was an air bubble in there. As I've pushed the piston in, I've pushed the piston in too far. Now I'm saying this so that other people hopefully don't make that same mistake. The brakes now, if I press the pedal with my foot, is solid. Obviously I'm adding this onto the end of the video, changing the pads, everything like that. I did perfectly correctly. it was user error down to pushing the piston in too far, creating a bubble, which then went up the ABS line, which I couldn't rectify here. Gaz is an absolute legend who managed to sort it out for me. But long story short, she's had her new shoes fitted. You can see there, lovely new boots on. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it has had a little bit of information in it for you, and hopefully you don't come across the same issue that I have, and I hope to see you out there.